Climbing up onto the roof, I found myself in awe again at the sheer size of the school. The grounds are so expansive, I can't believe I hadn't realized it before. As I walk across the roof, trailing behind Shizune, I can't help but be taken in by the stars shining in the sky. Shizune and I sit on the bench. Shizune and I sit down on a bench. She seems like she's in a good mood as she smiles softly while the breeze blows through her hair. We look down at the festival, which looks like a sea of glowing amber lanterns and waving paper fans teeming with people, some of them festively dressed in yukata. In fact, most of the girls seem to be wearing yukata. I wonder why Shizune and Misha didn't dress up today. The two of them would look nice in yukata. I really think about what types they would wear. Shizune would likely go with something traditional. However, Misha is a bit harder to place. Misha arrives panting as she runs to us, trying to keep the food in her arms from falling. Setting everything on the ground, she lets herself drop backwards. Ha 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 ha. That took a while. Come on, you two didn't tell me what you wanted, so I got some rice punch, some sandwiches, and some candy too. A little bit of everything. That's great, let's dig in. Misha takes a bite out of a small triangular sandwich. So, Chan, what do you think of the festival? It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. The stars are nice tonight. This couldn't have been a more perfect day. The sound of people talking below us is like faint music alongside the chirping of crickets in the distance. I take a sip of the can of punch and look over at Misha, who looks as if she's sleeping comfortably with her back stretched out and a half-full can of apple juice balanced on her stomach. Shizune sits with her legs drawn close to her, rocking back and forth, slowly like an impatient child as she stares up at the sky. The two of them are so cute. I look around and can see many students holding hands with their girlfriends and their boyfriends. Not too far from us on this roof, there are a couple gazing up at the stars or down at the lights of the festival, holding each other's hands. Part of me wants that. Looking at Shizune and Misha, I wonder if maybe I should ask one of them out someday. I wonder if it would be worth the risk. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's how. The golden hands moving across the face of the delicate watch as Shizune's wrists catch my eye. And I see that it's kind of late. It's getting kind of late. The festivals are still going strong. Shizune is still holding the stuffed cat I won by the paw. She noticed me looking at it. Finally, she offers it to me. I smile, wanting to ask her what I would do with it, but she wouldn't be able to understand me. I shake my head and try my best to tell her to keep it, hoping she'll understand. As I look out towards the school, I can see before me so many people, all which are happy and cheerful. Watching them makes me feel content. This really was something. Today was worth it. But I still can't shake that feeling of guilt and melancholy from earlier. They keep hanging on to me, and I can't let them go. Shizune signed something to me, and I can't understand her. No matter what I say, she won't be able to hear me. I can't understand you, Shizune. Well, whatever. I wonder if we both consider ourselves at fault for this. Anyway, I'm sorry for not being able to understand. You know, I'm almost glad that you tried to coerce me into coming here. If I attempt to date you, though, I might have to think more about that side of you. No, actually, I'm glad. Today was nice. You'd be cuter if you smiled more. You have a nice smile. Frustrated, she stands up, arms behind her back, looking authoritatively and confident against the backdrop of stars. What if she could just, like, read lips? Whoa! Suddenly Shizune throws her arms out towards the open sky, seeming to hold it between her hands. This is different. I didn't expect this. This is completely different art. It's a little weird. not just seeing this. It says she's telling me to look at everything in front of me. Did she just fucking... Whoa, this is... What the hell is going on? The school bathed with the festival glow. Oh no, she's still standing right there. It's just because... Festival glow in the lit of the colorful yukata, the roof illuminated by fireflies, the sky so vast that it imposes the feeling of awe onto you. What does she want? It slowly dawns on me with time that this beautiful scene before me is proof that there are things wonderful enough that spoiling them with a bad mood would be unforgivable. And I can feel that the weight of Shizun's personality is pressing the point further. Thanks, I guess. Uh-oh. I look away, but then Shizun grabs me by the shoulder, her watch brushing against my cheek. With her left hand, she points up to the sky. Oh, wait, I'm over there too? Or, how? What do you get over there? With faint pops, fireworks begin to go off in the sky, each one spreading a shower of bright colors that slowly fade into the dark. I can't even recall the last time I saw fireworks at all, much less a display that's large. Not to mention it seems that they're being launched from the school. This was almost impossible to believe. The lights in the sky mingle with a second salvo from the town below, and they seem in time to complement each other like two parts of a duet. They continue for maybe 15 more minutes and then stop. She soon realizes her hands are still on my shoulder and withdraws it carefully, looking a little uncomfortable. I think you can wait. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, regaining her composure, she grins with her hands on her hips and her chest thrust out in front of her. It's in these moments that she seems most like a teenage girl, energetic, happy, and carefree. I eat thoughtfully with Shizun, the two of us looking out at the gradually thinning crowds below in silence. She sits leaning forward slightly, her chin resting softly on her hands, and a contented look on her face with just a hint of wistfulness. All the while, she is still gently holding onto the stuffed cat paw. I start feeling tired, and I tell her that I'll see her and Misha tomorrow without even realizing that she can't hear me, and then start walking back to the dorm. I feel warm and alive even in the chilly night air. The image of Shizun standing forcefully before the stars themselves, denying my self-pity, does not leave my mind easily. If only it takes a moment for there to be love, I think I might be falling in love with her. Just a little bit. Act 2. Learning to read. The next morning, I recall what a perfect night last night was, so much so that I can't stop thinking about it. It's probably not the most appropriate time to reminisce since I have the test first period. It's so unfair. How can I do this? They work a festival that is this culmination of what has to be at least a few weeks worth of work on a Sunday, and then follow up with exams starting the very next morning. There's gotta be some kind of sick joke. I'm not too worried about it, but I wonder if they really couldn't have held off on this for at least another week. Well, at least the weather this morning is nice enough that I can study outside before class. It's a lot more refreshing out here than it would be in the classroom. Not to mention with how quiet it is, I'm starting to think that everyone else will be sleeping in pretty late today. I put down the notes I'm reviewing for a second and stare out at the school grounds still littered with festival stalls. Looking at them now in the daytime, without paper lanterns or crowds of people to draw my attention away from them, I noticed something peculiar. A lot of the stalls that Shizune, Misha, and I visited last night also happened to be the ones that we worked on. That's cute. Did Shizune come up with this? It had to be intentional, especially knowing her. Did she hope that I would catch on and see the fruits of our labor? I hear footsteps crunching the grass behind me and turn around. I feel slightly paranoid, but all I find is Shizune standing there with an innocuous look on her face. Good morning. Why do I keep forgetting that she can't hear me? It's probably because I've gotten used to Misha's translating for both of us that I haven't actually run into many situations where I was forced to acknowledge Shizune's deafness and the problems that could stem from it. I think yesterday was the first. I give her a wave anyway. I can do at least this much, but I'm not even going to pretend for a minute that I could hold up a conversation with her considering my ignorance of sign language. Well, it'd be rude just to go back to my notes. I don't really know what else I could do. Where's Misha? Not just because I can't understand you. You two are always together anyway, so I'm not used to seeing you apart. You know, it's silly, but for some reason, talking to her makes me feel less awkward. Surprisingly, she doesn't get mad at all. She starts signing, but it's different than usual. Shizune's hands move more slowly and gestures are simpler. I quickly realize that this isn't sign language at all, but she's still attempting to communicate with me. So this is the sign language equivalent of breaking it down into a layman's term. I'm terrified that if I attempt to gesticulate back, I just look like a total dumbass. The look on Shizune's face tells me that she's starting to think that trying to have any kind of back and forth like this is not exactly the best way to accomplish things. There has to be a better way. Writing on a pad? Well, I do have paper and a pencil. What else, though? Cell phones? I don't really have much use for mine here, so I can barely carry it around. I don't know if Shizune even has one. She takes the initiative, holding up a finger to ask for a pause before pulling out a pad and pen from a bag and writing a single word on it. Hello. I stare blankly at her and receive a similar but somehow more intimidated stare in response. She nudges the pad in my direction forcefully, clearly wanting me to reply. Good morning. Shizune beams with a disproportionate amount of happiness. She starts twirling her pen triumphantly as she thinks about where to go from here. Oh, come on, it's not like we've just invented fire. Shizune pushes up her glasses critically as if she had heard me and then starts writing at a furious pace. Use the notepad. Right. I'm confused. Am I supposed to take it from her and write okay now? This is about the furthest thing I could imagine from a smooth, flowing conversation. It makes me envy the ease with which Misha is able to communicate with Shizune. Are you studying for the test? I'm pretty sure I can get away with answering yes or no question like this with nods. You're here very early. Most people sleep in late after the festival. That means you're abnormal. Is that so? You're here too. Before handing the response back to her, though, I remember that I noticed earlier in an ad. Yesterday it was fun. I noticed today that I built a lot of the stalls we went to. Maybe that's why they were so familiar. Was this another game? She shakes her head from side to side indignantly. No tricks. I thought that because you had made those stalls, they were the most important ones. We had to visit them because everyone should be able to appreciate the fruits of their labor. I wanted you to be able to see and enjoy what you had done. I'm sort of touched. Still, I have to wonder why she would go out so out of her way and ask her in my response. Because you were depressed. I want to say that I was depressed for days, but stop. It's true I was moping for quite a bit and not being too subtle about it half the time either, so it's possible that she knew. Was everything she did just to cheer me up then? Thanks. I mumble before I can catch myself, but Shizune doesn't seem to care. I write it down instead, and she nods once as if unused to it. The silence between us grows more vast with each passing second. There's nothing I can do to break it. Having to write everything down on paper kind of destroys any hope of trying to be casual. Good luck on the exam. She soon pushes the pad right in front of my eyes, breaking concentration, taking the initiative again as always. As she walks into the school building, I can't help feeling a little sad. That felt like the longest 20 minutes of my life, and all because it's so alien to me to have face-to-face conversation with someone by passing notes to each other, and I can't help coming up blank most of the time. It makes me want to learn sign language. That's easier said than done, although in a school like Yamaku, they might very well have sign language classes. In that case, there'd be little reason not to pursue this. The only person who I can think to ask at the moment is Misha. How badly do I want to know this? There's two options: wait until after class or go look for her now. I guess I'll go now, but I'm not certain where she is. My best bet is to start searching for her in the girl dorms. After all, if she wasn't with Shoujo, that'd probably be the only place where she would be. A guy casually prowling around the girls' dorms early in the morning is unacceptable, but asking Misha about sign language classes in front of Shizune would be just unthinkable. She has to come to the school sometime. After all, we're in the same class, so she too has to take the test. But if I wait here, I'll be sure to see her sooner or later. I just hope she doesn't walk past me while I'm flipping through my notes. It turns out to be a pretty long wait as students file into the school. I wonder if Misha is going to be late. Eventually I catch sight of her while she bounces across the grounds. It hits me that I had to be blind to miss her with her incredibly distinctive hair. Hi, Chan. Good morning. Morning. I don't have a lot of time left before class starts, so I cut directly to the chase. Hey, can I ask you a question? A question? Okay, Chan. Sure. I have time, but only because I'm late. What does that mean? Haha, I should have woken up earlier, but I was so tired. If I had, I would have to study, but since I didn't, it won't hurt. What is it, Chan? Well, there's sign language classes here, right? Yep, they're electives. Why do you want to know, Chan? For some reason, that question briefly makes me panic. No reason, it sounds interesting, but I guess it's too late to sign up now, right? I'm not exactly being too subtle here, but Misha never seems to pick up on things like that anyway, so I'm probably being more cautious than is necessary. Ah, well, Chan, I've heard that there are fewer and fewer students taking sign languages every year. So, if you want to, I'm sure they'll let you in. Are you thinking about learning sign languages, Chan? Yeah. If you learn sign languages, Chan, that would make Chan really happy. If you want, we can go to the teacher's office after school. They'll probably let you in. That'd be great. Don't tell Shizune that I want to learn it, though. Why not? So it can be a surprise. Besides, it'll look bad if you tell her this morning, and then I find out in the afternoon that I can't take the classes. Oh, you're right, Chan. Still, this will be hard. It's such good news. I'm in the student council, so I might as well try learning it, even if it's just the basics. It'd be a step up from nothing. Besides, Sejun and I can't keep relaying everything through you as if you were a phone or something, right? Wahaha, that was a little long. You're right, Chan. Well, what are with the pauses? The bell rings to signal the start of the first period, cutting our conversation short. I guess I'll just ask your teacher after classes are though. Her reaction was a little strange, but I forget about it as the day goes on. That was strange. But like, that's just strange, dude. The bell rings and the teacher at the front of the room gestures that classes are over for the day. Although getting into the class was surprisingly easy, it's only been a few days, and I'm still not used to the experience. The actual signing is earlier to pick up than I expected, but most of the classmates are hard of hearing. On top of that, the teacher favors immersion. I haven't heard her speak since I asked if I could take the class. It's an alien concept and really unnerving. The moment I stepped out of the classroom, I heard a familiar laugh explode through the air a short distance from my left. Hiya, Chan. Misha's not in my sign language class, so this is the first time I've seen her in this context. I still don't know whether or not being in my class is good or bad. It'd be more interesting with her in it, but the potential for awkward situations will increase drastically. Hi. It's a surprise to see you here, Chan. Ah, that's right. You're taking sign language class, aren't you, right? What do you think of it so far, Chan? It's not easy to learn a new language, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Despite how different it is from other languages, it's still easier than English. Haha, really, Chan? I agree. I was just joking, but she's apparently totally serious. I wonder how Misha can effortlessly translate things to me while simultaneously having a conversation with Shizune in different language like she does. Until now, I've taken for granted how amazing it is. Someone bumps into my shoulder and apologizes. It's getting kind of crowded here, what with it being the end of the day and all. I think we should talk somewhere else instead of the hallway. Let's go to the roof or something. Okay. I decided to continue talking on the way, surprisingly quiet enough to carry on a conversation while doing so. It's still taking me some time to get used to having to look at the teacher. Constantly. I guess it took all those years of simply listening to the lectures while I doodled for granted. It makes taking notes a lot more difficult too. The introductory class is small and I'm already behind. I guess I have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, this is much better. I turn around and look back at Misha and see her staring at me with her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed outwards. Hey Chan, you're behind. That's not good at all. I started the class a week later than everyone else. It's not that bad. Okay, Chan, let's review what you learned then. I'll tutor you, okay? This is the first time I've heard "I'll tutor you" outside of dirty movies. I'm not nearly as turned on as I'd expected. I don't know if I need a tutor yet. Wait, what was that sentence? She looks more disappointed than usual. It makes me feel awkward to see her making that kind of face. I want to be a sign language teacher, Chad, but it would be really great if I could try tutoring someone in it first. Even if it was for a little while, the experience would be valuable. Ah, well, yeah, that's true. I didn't know you wanted to be a sign language teacher. It's hard to believe she's intentionally trying to make me feel guilty, because she's very good at it. Still, it makes sense. She's very good at sign language already, from what I've seen, and certainly has a voice for dealing with the hearing impaired. I never saw her as a teacher type, though. Ha ha ha. It's the reason why I wanted to go to this school, Chad. It's also really expensive to attend here, you know. Because I want to be a sign language teacher, I have reduced the tuition fees. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be able to keep going here. I see. It's not that I think you'd be bad at tutoring. It's just that I don't know if I'd need it just yet. You're right, Chan, you're smart. Well, no, that just makes me sound arrogant. Alright, please tutor me. Ah ha ha, really? Okay, yeah, yay, thanks, Chan, I'll do my best. Let's start right now. Too soon. I miss you, Chan. Didn't you just see her this morning? But it's hard to talk to her in class, Chan. There's no student council day either. Well, there have been exams all week. I'd be kind of mad if there was still student council. I'll be glad when they are over. When it's back, you're not gonna skip out, right, Chan? Of course, I'm in it after all. Don't worry, I'm not gonna just suddenly stop showing up. A promise is a promise. Misha paused for a second, not looking very convinced. What? Chan takes the student council very seriously, Chan. Now that you've joined, she works harder than before, since she wants to make a good impression. Some other people joined at first, but they stopped coming soon after. Chan tried to get more people interested in the student council, but wasn't successful. Even when someone would join, they'd stop coming eventually. They'd make excuses and just put it off more and more until they stopped coming altogether. However, I believe that you really mean it, Chan. My eyes stay focused on her hands, tilting and moving almost of their own free will, softly signing everything she says. She is saying to herself as she speaks. When you said you would join, she was really happy. Chan thinks you're interesting, Chan. An uninteresting person won't have the drive needed to join. Even if they do, a person that isn't interesting will quit soon after. That's what Chan said. So it was my duty to make sure that you keep going. Is that why you want to tutor me? You're kind of sneaky. Really, Chan, it's the first time anyone has said that about me. Wah-ha-ha. Wah. There's no chance that I would avoid student council work now. Thinking back over the past few days, I start to realize that the only reason I joined in the first place was because of Shidun. Her competitiveness and force of will are alluring. I can't tell Misha that, though. Okay, Chan, let's review what you learned in class today. You don't even know what I learned in class today. You're right, Chan. Okay, let's start with the basics then. I'll just teach you everything from the beginning. You're kidding, right? Huh? You're serious? It's like days of lessons, and we're not even learning on the same level. It's like riding a bike, Chan. You never forget the basics. Wah! I don't know how to ride a bike, though. No. Right. I want to be a teacher one day, so of course I know what I'm doing. Okay. We're starting. She looks like she's trying very hard, so this could be bad. Well, learning a language is vastly different from teaching it. The first step is usually the hardest part. Honestly, I couldn't do any better. Still, sign language was formally introduced in the 18th century by a Frenchman named, whose name I can't pronounce, and he started the first public school for the deaf in 1755, but the unwritten histories of sign language is said to. I don't really know where to start. Sorry. Well, what better place to start than the history of sign language, right? No, wait, maybe the alphabet. Okay, the alphabet it is then. Okay, Chan, this is really basic stuff. Although some people think that this is all sign language and forget that there are all kinds of specific gestures and words. Although you can't really get anywhere without the basics. This is A. Do you see it? Now you try. I already know this, though. I humor anyway. Haha, yeah, that's it. Now this is B, this is C. Misha makes one symbol with each hand without specifying which is which. Now D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, this is bad. Do you think Shizune wants to do some student council work today anyway? We could go. Of course not, Chan. Come on, I'll do it again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Your turn. So there's really no student council work that needs doing or anything like that. What are you talking about, Chan? Come on, sign. Like this? No, like this. Like this. Uh-huh. I wish Chan was here. This would be so much easier with her. Haha. That's how sign language is taught most of the time, anyway, with two instructors. Did you know that, Chan? No. I let my brain run through what this would be like if Shidun were here. Hey, Chan, are you paying attention? Yeah. Chan says that sign language is different from any other because you have to think about everything before you say it. That means every word that has more weight, Chan. Every single one is more important than normal. So pay attention, please. She continues her basic rundown of the basics of sign language. Eventually, she starts talking about stuff I start to recognize. In the end, I'm impressed it took a bit of stumbling to get there, but as a teacher, she's pretty good at when she's serious. After a while, I start to notice that it's getting late, so I think Misha bid her goodbye and go back to my dorm. I learned a lot today. Do 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 do.